The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to the crowds, "This is how it is with the kingdom of God. It is as if a man were to scatter seed on the land and would sleep and rise night and day, and through it all the seed would sprout and grow. He knows not how. Of its own accord the land yields fruit. First the blade, then the ear, then the full grain in the ear. When the grain is ripe, he wields the sickle at once, for the harvest has come." He said, "To what shall we compare the kingdom of God? What parable can we use for it? It is like a mustard seed, and when it is sown in the ground, is the smallest of all the seeds on the earth. But once it is sown, it springs up and becomes the largest of plants, and puts forth large branches, so that the birds of the sky can dwell in its shade." With many such parables he spoke the word to them as they were able to understand it. Without parables he did not speak to them, but to his own disciples he explained everything in private. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Isaac Bashevis Singer, he's a very famous author. He's a Jewish man from Poland. He died in 1991. All of the things he wrote in Yiddish. So they, of course, had to be translated into other languages. This author tells the story once of a man in a small village in Poland. Early every morning, the man would get up and go for a walk. He would walk the same way. His walk eventually took him through the marketplace. It was early in the morning, so it was quiet. He'd go through the marketplace and make a left around a corner. Did that every morning. In the marketplace at that time, every morning was a policeman, same one that was part of his beat. And so he would watch this man walk by. Morning after morning, he walks by. And so one morning, the policeman stopped the man and asked him, "Where are you going? You go by here every morning. Where are you going?" The man looked at the policeman and said, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going." Well, the policeman thought that was strange and let him continue on his way. It went on a few more mornings, and the policeman became curious, so he stopped him again one morning and said, "Okay, where are you going?" The man said, "I don't know where I'm going." Well, that began to irritate the policeman, so he handcuffed him and took him to jail. He was sure he was up to something illegal. There's something wrong going on here. So he had to take him in for questioning. And so the man's in his cell, and the same policeman comes to talk to him. He says, "Okay, now what do you have to say for yourself? Where were you going?" The man said, "Look at where I am. I don't know where I'm going, and now I'm in a cell." We don't know where we're going. In the first reading from the book of Ezekiel, Ezekiel is having a vision. He's talking about the crest of a cedar in which the Lord picks off a little branch and plants it on a mountain. No one knows why. The Lord makes it grow. St. Paul will say to us in the second reading that we walk by faith, not by sight. We don't know why the Lord planted that little twig on the mountain, except that it eventually grew into a huge cedar and became a home for the birds. That's reflected in the gospel. in which Jesus is talking about the kingdom of God. He says, this is how it is with the kingdom of God. Man scatters seed on the land, and he goes to sleep. Then he wakes up and gets up. Day by day goes by. And through it all, the seed will sprout and grow. He knows not how. He plants the seed in faith, not by sight. He does not know how the seed grows. They didn't have the scientific knowledge in those days. Of its own accord, the land yields fruit. Farmer's not making it grow. It seems to grow on its own. The word in Greek is automate. Automate, it grows by itself. Where we get the word automatic. Automate grows by itself. He knows not how. And then the grain develops. It grows into a mature crop. It says, when the grain is ripe, he wields the sickle at once, for the harvest has come. Wields the sickle. It's not exactly what the Greek says. What the Greek says is apostele. He apostele the sickle. Apostele means to send forth. That's where we get the word apostle. Apostele the sickle, for the harvest has come. Then he has another parable. To what we compare the kingdom of God. It's like a mustard seed. When it is sown in the ground, it's the smallest of all seeds on the earth. I have mustard seeds here. See? Mustard seed. You probably have this in your pantry. I suggest when you get home, take one out and put it in your mouth and crunch on it. This little tiny seed. Just break it in your teeth. I was surprised at what happened. Nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, this heat began to build on the end of my tongue. It was quite amazing. Little mustard seed, very tiny, can have a big impact. Jesus says that once it's sown and grows, it becomes the largest of plants. The mustard plant can grow anywhere from 6 feet to 20 feet high. Huge. 20 feet, that's pretty high. And it can be 20 feet wide. And so what Jesus is talking about is so big that the little birds can come and rest in its branches, just like in Ezekiel. The little birds came and rested in the branches of the cedar that the Lord had planted. But the Lord makes it grow. Even from a little tiny seed, this large plant can grow, and the birds can come and get out of the sun and rest in the shade. And so it does much good. We too can do little things, little positive things. We can create our own mustard seeds and plant them. It's something that you can do that seems at the time very small, very almost meaningless. A little polite action, being sort of friendly. Think, well, this isn't a big deal. But that's a little mustard seed. You're in the store, back up and let mother with a baby go in front of you with her basket. You're on the freeway and going along probably way too fast. And this car comes in to merge into the freeway, and you back off, slow down, and let that person in. Just little ways that we reach out to people to make their lives better. It's just a little mustard seed. But the Lord makes it grow into something amazing. It's like the pebble in the pool of water, the ripples go out. And the good that you do to someone, you'll never know what happened because of that. I was in line going through a drive-in one time and ordering something I probably shouldn't eat. And when I got to the window to pay, the young woman at the window said, oh, there's no charge. The person in front of you paid for your lunch. I thought, wow, that's amazing. So that little bit of thoughtfulness on that person's part made my day. It was great. So what did I do? Next time I was at Starbucks, getting something I probably shouldn't drink, I bought the coffee of the person behind me. They never knew who I was. I didn't know who they were. But that rippled out, and I would hope that that person too that day went out of their way to help someone. But the Lord makes it grow. We walk by faith, not by sight. I don't know what's going to happen from moment to moment. I have a plan. My plan is to go out to my car after Mass. I may not make it. Maybe it'll be gone. Maybe somebody stole it. Maybe it's got a flat tire. Maybe I get distracted onto something else. I have a plan. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know any more than these people knew why the mustard seed grew or why the cedar grew on the top of that mountain. Don't know. We don't know. So St. Paul says it's important for us to claim that reality, that we don't know what's going to happen next. And know that we walk by faith, not by sight. The Lord makes it grow. So we're called to put out our little mustard seeds throughout the day, reach out and help people, be generous, even though it's a little thing, holding the door, saying hi, being friendly. The best mustard seed you can plant is the one in which the person you did that for doesn't know who did it. And so you're getting no thank you. You get no gratefulness as a payoff. You do it for them, and they'll never know who did that for them. But they still have the benefit of it. They can still enjoy it, but somebody washed my car, I don't know who, but it sure is clean. And those kinds of gifts, those little planting of those little tiny mustard seeds can make all the difference in the world, and that's what Jesus is talking about. That's what Ezekiel is talking about. Why St. Paul is encouraging us to admit to the fact that we are not in charge. We walk by faith, not by sight, and we look out for the Lord to help us and make us grow. And as the Lord helps us and makes us grow, as we are little mustard seeds, so we are called out to plant our seeds. Plant our seeds in the community, little ways of kindness, acts of kindness. The strangers, people we don't even know. Sometimes even do it anonymously. Because in that way, we reflect the generosity and the love of God in the world.